streaming Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm gonna do a short little video here, just a short stream. We are going to do kind of like, since this is the only game I could think of that had American traditions on it, besides I don't have, like, any other kind of, like, revolutionary game or anything like that. Maybe I'm doing like the American Revolution. I, however, do have Fallout 4, but that doesn't categorize anything, so I just decided to play Red Dead since it's the only game that I can really get distracted on and be okay and not really die unless a cougar comes and attacks me. Or some gang or whatever. But anyways, we're going to do a little bit of history on 9/11. And some of you may not know, some of you probably know, or most of you probably know what 9/11 signifies in the United States. 9/11/01. It was the it was the call of terrorism, and I had a T-shirt actually that said 9/11/01. It was the call to end terrorism. 9/11 was the most impactful, one of the most impactful events in our American U.S. history on U.S. soil.
I wish. No, I'm lost. It's a long story. Can you find the carvings?
I have no idea.
Well, I sort of need them. Hey, listen.
Now, I'm not going to get into the political stuff of it, because everybody's like, oh, it was an inside job, da-da-da-da. I'm not going to get into any of that because it's political, and I want to keep political things out of my YouTube channel.
If I told you, you think I was on the hooch?
What?
You know, even when it comes to voting and all that stuff, I am not going to talk about political things. It's just, that's not where it belongs, is in my channel. One of the things that I remember happening is I was 21 and I was working. I had a job at Eddie Bauer, but it was my day off. This was early morning. I decided I was gonna, you know, sit back, watch some movies, that kind of thing, just chill out, whatever, have fun, you know. I remember my mother, she had left for work, told her have a nice day, gave her a kiss, hug goodbye, everything, you know. I loved my mother. I cherished my mother. My mother was my fucking rock. She was like the best thing in my life when I was growing up. I mean, she tried teaching me so much, and she was an amazing woman. Anybody would have loved to have her for a close friend. Anyways, she had just arrived at work, and she called me at home, and she's like, I need you to turn on the news right now. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? She's like, you need to turn on the news. Turn on CNN or Fox or something. Turn on one of those news stations. I said, okay. So I turned on the news station, and I had seen one of the Twin Towers was ablaze. I'm like, oh, what happened? And she goes, well, there's reports that somebody had flown into the Twin Tower. And I stepped back quite a bit, and I was like, oh, wait, what? I was like, no way. Somebody had deliberately flew a jet into the Twin Towers. She didn't know a whole lot of the details because she'd just gotten word on the news, on the radio. Alright. So I'm sitting here watching this tower ablaze. I mean, it's just, there's smoke coming out of it, out of the, you know, top floors. And this was the, I think the North Tower. It was the North Tower that was... I think it was the North Tower that was attacked first. Okay, so it was the North Tower, yeah, that had been struck first. And I'm sitting there watching this tower, just smoke coming, billowing out of it. And the first thought came to my head, well, shit, this must have been an accident. It has to be an accident. Because you never hear about terrorists attacking the United States. You never hear about terrorists in our soil, coming into our soil and you know, legitimately killing people. We're so pampered here in the United States, we don't think about that. And so, we were actually, my mother and I was genuinely concerned. I said, I'll keep a watch on it. Let's just stay safe at work, da-da-da-da. And she goes, okay, you know. And I said, I'll keep you up to date. And so I'm sitting there watching the news, and I should have renamed this video as the reenactment of 9/11. That's right, though. Hold on, there we go. So what ended up happening was, while I was watching it, I saw the second plane hit the tower. I mean, the cameras were right on that tower when we saw this plane just come barreling in and hit the tower. When I saw that, I immediately reached for my phone and I said, Mom, I need you to come home. And she's like, why? And I said, did you not see the news? I'm bawling my eyes out because I'm scared. You know, I mean, I was a religious person. I believed in end times, and I mean, I still do. But I see this plane just crash into this building, and the first thought in my head's like, I got to get my mom home. My mom needs to get home. We need to go someplace safe. But at the time, I was living in Minnesota, so I wasn't in any immediate danger. I get a call from work. One of my friends actually was working there at the time of the day, and he goes, do you work today? And I said, I'm not scheduled for it. No, today's my day off. I already told you that. And he's just like, don't come to work. And I'm like, I don't plan it. I'm not scheduled. And when he sits there and decides that, you know, he sits there and decides to tell me something, and then all of a sudden I hear sirens going off at Mall America. And I'm like, what the hell? And he sat there and was like, yeah, we're being evacuated out of Mall America. And I'm like, why? Well, Mall America is one of the targets on a terrorist list on an America's U.S. soil. Well, hello there, lass. I'm reminiscing about 9/11. I'm going to actually be doing a story on what happened with me in 9/11. And then I'm going to reenact. I'm going to sit there and we're going to talk about 9/11 a little bit and what happened and whatnot. Because some people don't understand the full severity of it. It won't last very long. So I went and called my mom again, and I told her, I'm like, don't come home, you know, I'm okay. They're evacuating Mall America. I don't have to work today, da-da-da-da. And she's like, okay, she's not going to come home. There was no reason for her to come home.
Oh wow, I'd like to hear your side of the story.
Do you want me to start over? I mean, I can start over. Because I didn't really get very far into it. Okay, 9/11, 2001. I'm going to start over one more time.
It's alright.
Yeah, I'll start over one more time. So, in 9/11, I was 21 when this whole thing happened. And I got a hunt nearby. The legendary animal. I think it's the deer. So, one of the things that happened to me is I was home. It was my day off of work. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to sit down, relax, watch a movie, eat a bunch of junk food a day. And that was my goal. And I've got enemies nearby, and I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's a snake. Yeah, it was a snake. Yeah, you thought you were gonna bite me, didn't you? So anyways, I put on this movie, and I kissed Mom, gave Mom a hug and a kiss and goodbye. You know, told her have a great day at work, be safe, yada yada yada, the likeness. So my mom went to work, and she calls me about 30 minutes roughly later, told me to turn on the news. I'm like, okay, why am I turning on the news? And she goes, just turn on the news. CNN something, just turn on something. I'm like, okay. Another snake tried to kill me. And so I turn on the news, and the first thing I see is the North Tower is ablaze. And I guess the news had been on it for a good 10 minutes, so maybe something like that, give or take. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I said, all right, Mom, I'll watch the news. I'll keep my eye on it, you know. And I watched it the whole time, you know, because I always liked watching the news when I was a kid, or when I was in my early 20s. When news was my thing back in the day, because it was my mom. She got me into it. So I'm sitting there watching the news, just waiting, and I knew something else was going to happen, because they were going to have to come up with a way of saying, you know, why this jetliner flew right into the Twin Tower. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I go to get some coffee, and I come back and I sit down, and as I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the TV screen, and whoom, the next jet, the jet, hit plane number 2, hit the South Tower. I fucking died crying. I'm bawling my eyes out, because, I mean, you gotta think, how many people are actually on those floors? Okay, so the first plane hit, and that was floors 93 through 99. That's a lot of floors. And then you got to think the next plane is just as many people that they hit. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God. Hey, Zane. So the first thing I'm thinking is like, oh my God, you know, we're under attack. I just knew it. But by what? By whom? You know, what was going on? I had no clue.
I'm roaming around online.
Yeah, I'm not doing the online version yet, because I'm going to do the online version with Ben. Because there's that new stuff that just came out, and I want to do that with Ben. But anyways, what's scary is I called my mom up, and I told her what happened. I said, are you watching the news? And she goes, yeah, I'm watching the news. Did you see it? And I said, yeah, I saw the second plane hit. And so we're sitting there talking about it. I'm like, Mom, what the hell is going on? This is not an accident. This is on purpose. You could deliberately tell the way the plane flew into that building, that you knew it was a deliberate hit. It wasn't just no accident. So we sat and talked about it for a good 20 minutes, and she's like, I gotta get back to work. And I said, okay, no problem. I'll keep watching the news. I'm sitting here watching it and watching it and watching it. And I'm like, they gotta evacuate these people. They gotta get them out. And they started evacuating people when the plane hit the second building. And if I start getting teared up, guys, I'm really sorry, but it's very emotional for me, and I'm sure it is for many other Americans, just because this was an attack on our soil. This was an attack on us. I mean, it was something that was so deep that it angered so many people, and nobody really looked at it as a whole. And you almost couldn't. So I'm watching these people, and they're trying to get out, and because we realized it was a terrorist attack, and then we hear about another plane that that was hijacked, and then that one crashed in, if I remember correctly, it was Pennsylvania, Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember the exact details on that one. And then there was that other one that crashed in the Pentagon. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself,
What nation was the one that did that attack?
it wasn't really necessarily a nation. It was I think it was they're called, shit. I don't want to point any fingers. But I want to say jihad. No, it was either jihad or I think it was the religion. They call them Muslims, but they weren't Muslims. They were part of the religion, but they weren't actually Muslims. They were part of jihad or some shit like that. What's his name? Random. Mr. Fartface. Hold on, I got the thing opened up. Yeah, A-52 flight attendant. Yeah, they called and they said their flight was attacked. That was after. That was before the South one got attacked. 903, the South Tower got attacked. Hold on. I think it was Jihad, but I can't remember.
So no one got an exact name of the country who pulls that stunt?
Actually, it was, if I remember correctly, we sent a shit ton of Americans to Afghanistan. And it was Al-Qaeda. It was the Al-Qaeda. Excuse me. Thank you. It was the Al-Qaeda that did it. But, there was 2,753 people that were killed. An additional 184 perished at the Pentagon. 40 were killed when Flight 93 crashed in Pennsylvania.
Yup, I think I heard that name.
And then already 200 people have already died because of the attacks that was done. They died from the illnesses, from the smoke inhalation and whatnot. There's about 3,000 lives that were lost. But yeah, they were members of the Al-Qaeda. They were an Islamist extremists. So they were from Islam. They were not from Islam. They were Islamic, and they were from Jihad or Al-Qaeda. I can't pronounce some of this stuff. They were members of Al-Qaeda, an Islamist extremist network. Yeah, it was 3,000 people that were killed.
Be right back.
Yep. But I will never, to be honest, I will never forget that day that I just sat there. And as I watched the second plane hit, the only thing I could think of was, like I said earlier, was to get my mom home, get things together, and get things prepped. I was ready for doomsday. I was ready for the end times. I didn't care whether I had kids or family at that point. I didn't care if I never got married. My first thought was to get my mama home. My first thought was to get the people I loved and I cared about home, and we figure out a plan to deal with things. But it turned out it was okay, but not okay. Oh, damn it. Something that was a goat.
Okay.
That's actually one of the things you gotta do on the challenges you gotta do. You gotta call them and shoot them. I don't remember if I have that challenge yet or not right now. Yep, I do. Oh, isn't that a pretty sight? But I remember watching CNN for all week that week. I did nothing but watch CNN. I got to a point where I couldn't get unglued from that screen. I just couldn't. That's all we did. Every time I came home from work, we'd pop on CNN and we'd watch what's going on. If something else in the house wanted to watch something else on TV, we'd go in my room, watch CNN. I saw there was somebody that had a video clip too of the first plane that hit the towers. It was a tourist that was in New York. And they were filming it. They were filming the Twin Towers, and as they were filming it, the first plane hit it. Wasn't long before that video got out. I can't think of how many kids were left without parents that day. I watched a documentary about, I think it was like 3 or 4 months later, there was a documentary done about some of the victims in the tower. Hold on a second. I remember when
There, girl.
okay, hold on guys. Love you. I was just saying goodnight to my little girl. So, I mean, you gotta think. You know, granted, us Americans, we've seen tragedy. We've seen tragedy in this country. We've seen school shootings. We've seen all kinds of things like, you know, Columbine, Sandy Hook. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Here, I'm back. I had to get my kid set for bed.
That's
But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I'm gonna probably go about one of these days and talk about some of the national tragedies we've had in even other countries. Because I actually want to elaborate on that sometime. Aw, damn it. Ah, time to tell Ben about this stream because now I got the hiccups. But, knowing the tragedy that we had, and we still remember that tragedy. We still remember 9/11. We'll never forget 9/11 as a whole, as a country. That was the one time our country actually came together, pulled together, and said, we need to do something about this. What ashamed me so much is the fact that a lot of companies used it, like especially Red Cross, they used it as an opportunity to get money off of people, like from the donations and stuff. And I heard that Red Cross didn't do a very good job at donating money to the victims. And from where I understand, there is a lot of victims. I'm not going to get into the political things because, you know, I know everybody tried, and I donated, I bought t-shirts, I did what I could on my end. Even though if it wasn't enough, I felt it wasn't enough, I did what I could. But ooh, that's a high quality. Get over here. But, it's been an interesting, you know, 18 years. One of the things I'm surprised we haven't done yet is do a full what are you doing over here, Coyote? There's a lot of things I don't understand about why it happened and why so many lives had to be taken to prove a point. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, it should have never came to that point. It should have never came to the point where it would take the lives of so many people to prove a point for one terrorist group to get their point across about something so stupid. It's hard for me to talk about this without anybody else being on the mic with me because it's something that you almost need a couple people to talk to about. But I watched a couple documentaries on 9/11 and some of the people that were recorded, their They're, what are you freaking out about now? Is there a cougar around? Don't see him. But one of the sound clips was there was a gal that was working there. She was working up at the 100th floor or something like that. And while working up there, I mean, obviously she's another victim, but she had just found out that day she was pregnant. Her and her husband had been trying for a few years or quite a few months, something like that, to have a baby. And it's one of the stories I will never forget. She just found out she was pregnant. And she called up her husband. And she told him that, you know, while she was telling him she was pregnant, after she said, "We're having a baby," the first plane hit. Killed her instantly. I can't imagine, at that point, I can't imagine what a spouse goes through. You have somebody you love so much. They mean more than the world to you. They call you with great news, pregnancy, or, you know, let's get married, or whatever. And in an instant, they're gone. And it doesn't take much to take a life. It doesn't take much to realize that, you know, life is so precious. And sometimes, for some people to realize how precious life really is, something's got to be taken away from them first. And sometimes that is the case. For me, you know, after 9/11, well, when I was 10 years old, there was a car accident in front of us. And I've had a lot of near misses in life. There was a car accident in front of us. This was a van that flipped like 3 or 4 times, and there was a little girl that fell out and instantly died. Naomi's the same age as this little girl that died. This was back when I just turned 11 or 12. And to be honest, it's something you never forget. The only place my mom could park was next to, quote unquote, the girl that died, her body. So that made things just a little bit more difficult for me. The old saying goes, you don't know what you have until it's gone. A lot of people don't know that anymore.
Easy, girl. I'm nearly there.
Actually, I should take this back to camp. Because I can do some stuff at the camp with this carcass. Wink.
That's good. Come on, girl. Yep. Whoa.
So if you have any stories you'd like to share about 9/11, go right ahead. Because I actually enjoy hearing other people's stories and their life events. And oh shit, I'm gonna take a Kia stagecoach down there. But I like hearing about other people's life events and how major events actually changed your life. I mean, for example, the Sandy Hook shooting. There was one there. I don't know if any of you know what the Sandy Hook shooting is, but there was a guy who was very mentally ill. That's what the U.S. needs to actually start looking at more, as people with mental health issues.
I think that day is when I started not opening up to others as much.
Oh wow. Well, it changed a lot of people. I mean, just, you know, I mean, I watched on live camera watching people actually falling out of the building windows. And, you know, I was like, at first I couldn't understand why they were committing suicide. You know, because all they had to do was run down the stairs, but it was more difficult than that. And, something spooked my horse.
Okay, girl.
There you go. Gotta calm down. I mean, I watched as people jumping from the building, and nobody knew why they were doing it. No, they were doing it because they couldn't breathe, and they were trying to breathe, and they, you know, when I questioned it, I was actually told later on that the people that actually jumped from the building more than likely died before they hit, because they more than likely had a heart attack. Tennessee Walker, Tennessee Walker, Tennessee Walkers.
Yeah.
So I mean, in a way, you know, I probably would have done the same, to be honest, if I'd known that I was either going to die one of two ways. Either die by the building collapsing, or I sit there and I just jump and I died of my falling to my death.
Now, come on.
I don't know what I would do. That's a spur of the moment thing, you know. I mean, if I was up in the Twin Towers, I'd probably curl up in a corner. I'd probably pull out my phone, if I could, start calling the people I love the most, or messaging them saying, I'm gonna die today. I'm in the Twin Towers. I love you. I'm sorry for everything. Please go on. Please be happy, even without me. And that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't think twice. I wouldn't think twice. I would say goodbye to everyone that I loved. Because some people don't even get that chance. I wasn't even able to say goodbye to my mom when she passed. That sucked. Okay, now where am I going to go with this one? I gotta go to Rhodes. Take a ride. Take me to Rhodes.
Ride into Rhodes, please. You want to get comfortable? This will be long.
I remember when Sandy Hook shooting happened. It was a
But then
deranged.
if it happened to you, then we properly wouldn't have met Sad.
No, I mean, I'm just saying if that ever happens when I got to be, if I was in that kind of a situation, I'd probably just stay in the building, knowing me. It all depends. It really all depends.
Well, we're at your destination.
Thanks. Good luck.
But Sandy Hook was a deranged, mentally ill person. He didn't know what to do with his life. He didn't know what I don't even know what he was going through his head, to be honest. But this man that was very selfish went and got a gun. May even have more than, I don't remember how many guns he had, if he had more than one or what the whole dealio was. I just know he killed his mother. He was so deranged he went and killed his mom. And after killing his mother, he went to a elementary school and killed a bunch of kids. I think it was like 22 children he shot. You have to be one hell of a selfish son of a bitch to do that and take the life away of a child who's barely begun to live. If you're mad at the world, take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on a kid. God's sakes, don't even take it out on a fucking child that's barely even learned to live. That's never even had a boyfriend. That's never, you know, has never probably even been to the zoo. That disgusts me. Just, why do people do that? Well, we're gonna turn this video around. We gotta quit talking depressing, because it's making me depressed, and donate. Basically what I wanted to say is that, you know, this is kind of dedicated to the 9/11 victims and their families and, you know, the people that were involved in it. And to be honest, if you are a victim and you are watching this, believe me, I feel for you. And I wish that something good comes out of what happened in your life. Because nobody deserves to have a loved one stolen from them like that.
Warm hugs.
Yes, warm hugs too. But nobody deserves to live like that.
Sir, I gotta go now. With the horses? Wait a minute, come on back here.
Guess we'll see if anyone notices. O'Driscoll boy.
Hello.
Keep your mouth shut. You might survive the week.
Hey, come on.
Okay, I got that part done.
All right?
Hi, Uncle Arthur.
You're a good kid.
Thanks, Uncle Arthur.
He says thanks, Uncle Arthur, but I also see a 9 board. I just, oh God.
Everything on the online version will shock you how much it changed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the online version yet. I don't like going in there without somebody there with me, especially Ben.
Here we go.
Ben is kind of like my shield in there, and my angel in the game. So every time I go in there, I get hunted down all the time, and it's really annoying. That's why I don't play the online version very much. Now, if I could just do a free roam and just kind of do my own thing, oh hell yeah.
Hey there, partner.
Nope, not interested in your competition. Let me guess, I know this is going to be a poor fox pelt, isn't it? Yep. Damn it, I can't get a good fox pelt. I don't know exactly how to kill them. Sucks. I think it's a bow and arrow. Yeah, Ben wants to be a collector. I thought about becoming either a vendor or a crud, I can't think of the other one I want to do. Bounty hunter. No, not the bounty hunter. The vendor or the there's another one. Bounty hunter might be fun though. Ben is afraid that if I try to do the vendor thing that I'm gonna get robbed. But we'll see. Do you have to just pick one, Leon, or can you do like all like 4 or 3 or whatever it is? Turkey!
All I think.
Oh, well, that's good.
There we go.
I said whoa, horse. Whoa.
Easy, easy. Move along. Got no time. It's all right, girl.
that Mustang. Oh, they're thoroughbreds. Nice.
Hey, where you going? Yeah. Whoa.
This here camp ain't got no room to spare. Go with you. Get the hell.
I ain't here to cause trouble. Hey, free country, ain't it?
Such a bitch. Oh god, I gotta go to bed here soon. Ben's gonna wake me up probably in a few hours. Hopefully.
Hey there! Good weather we're having. Well, make the most of it.
The one thing I don't like about Red Dead Online, there's actually a couple factors I really don't like online. One of the things is that, and me and Ben have complained about it numerous times, is we can't have our own lobby type thing. So we can do our own thing. We have to constantly worry about someone trying to kill us or rope us, bring us down, then kill us, and it's really, really stupid. We actually get really tired of being attacked constantly. I mean, though you go on passive, when you go into a mission, you come out of it, you know, you're not in passive anymore. That too gets annoying. I didn't really want that one, it was only 2-star. It's not worth nothing. You wanna see something really gross? The oil fields, right? Check this out. Remind you of a certain movie? Artex! Muck through all the sludge. The mud oil sludge. Surprisingly enough, it didn't stick to my horse.
Good job.
Can you imagine the amount of damage us humans have done to the environment since we started drilling oil? We're like, hey, look, oil. It's nature's bounty. It's a gold. The new gold. It's black gold. You go into it, and then you realize after drilling for several years, you're doing more harm to the environment than anything else. Jeez, look at the legs. It's
Well,
black.
too much damn damage to THW Earth.
Oh yeah, I mean, what's his name? Fucking burnt down half the forests in South America. So I mean, it's like You know, people don't. I know it's hard to explain things. Yes, because I'm gonna skin a skunk from the anus up. Yep. That's the most logical thing to do.
Okay, girl. Yep.
Bird hunting.
Yep.
There it is. Yes, I shut down the little birdies.
Here.
Yeah, it was a bird I haven't identified yet, so where'd he go? There he is. Golden crown sparrow. Oh, those are pretty birds. I used to get those in my backyard all the time. And then I shot them all down. Oh, bad joke, bad joke. Oh, quit your job, Sarah. Quit your job. It's like Duck Hunt all over again. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm just gonna shove this big ass bird in my pocket. Wah wah wah! Dut, 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 dut. God damn it, now I gotta look up the sound effects for that again. Dut, 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 dut. Oh, let's pick up some yarrow too while we're here. Pick up and eat 4 species of berries. You know, when this one popped up for me a while back, I only got a few of them. What is that? I don't want to kill him. Dut, 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 dut. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep, exactly. Oh, rabbit. I should like do a video of like me sitting here killing a bunch of birds, and like you know, you see a dog go by and do the sound effects of the dog. Whoop whoop whoop. You chase him off. Dut, 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 dut.
Yep.
I did a new journal entry while aiming my gun at a bird. Oh, there's an idea I want to do in Naomi's room. Because she wants a night sky in her room.
Yeah.
There's an idea right there. Because what I want to do is I want to do a dark blue with a light blue. But I like that pink hue in the back. That itty bitty pink hue right there. That might work, to be honest. Because believe it or not, in real life, that's what a night sky should look like. Yes, it's black. To our naked eye, it looks black. But to be honest, it is actually a dark, dark blue. I learned that not too long ago. So if you go to a starlit sky, if you're able to find one without city lights around, just look at it. You'll see that it's a darker blue. It's not black. It's black like in the middle of the night, yes. But it's not black, like black. It's actually a darker blue. Oh my god, I'm rambling. Holy shit, ew. I hate it when I ramble. Ugh. I shot a deer in the butt. I gave him a wake-up call. Why are you hunting me? There's no hunters out this time of night. No, I'm not gonna kill them. I was just saying what that was gleaming in the sun, in the moonlight. See, that's how I want to room. Oh, wow. See, I miss seeing this light at night. I used to live with my grandmother. My grandmother lived away from the city. And believe it or not, her night sky was so black. It was so beautiful at night. I would give just about anything to live out in the countryside again. I hate living in the city. I hate it. It's like my biggest nightmare is to live in the city. I'd rather pack up my shit, go out to the countryside, take Ben with me, take Naomi with me, live off the land, grow my own goats, sheep, whatever it is we needed, chickens, and just live. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore because it's so expensive. But I'm going to call it a night here. I'm going to go to bed because Ben's hopefully going to wake me up in a few hours, so... But it was fun. I'm going to go to bed for a while. I got some things I got to do in the morning. But I will see you later, Zane. You have a good night. Night, kiddo.